The waiting lasts only a couple of minutes, but it is exactly during this time that the feeling of anticipation is born, the anticipation of the very first frame. Suddenly, the hall sinks into darkness. The noisy chatter of children fades and turns into a soft whisper. A flash of light, and an image appears on a huge screen. Behind me, I hear the steady clicking of the projector. And every time, this moment carries me far back into the past, to the late 1960s. Back then, I was just a young boy. I grew up in a farming family and was madly in love with cinema. Real cinema, on a giant screen, projected from real film. In those years, we didn't have a television yet, and many people had never even heard of one. For me, the cinema was an entrance into another world, bright, vast, and full of wonder. Every visit felt like the promise of a real miracle. I went to the cinema alone or with boys from nearby courtyards. When I was very small, my mother trusted the local girls to look after me. They were a little older and seemed like real adults to me. After all, they already went to a real school, while I was still a preschooler. Cinema was something everyone in our village waited for, both children and adults. Almost every day, a truck arrived bringing new films. They came in round metal cases with handles. Inside each case were several large reels of film. On the lid and on the side, there were small pockets with a piece of paper showing the film's title. The cases were unloaded near the only poster board in the center of our small village. For a while, they stood there without any guard. Then they were taken away. We boys often ran there to find out which film had arrived before the title even appeared on the poster. Films were shown every day. There were daytime screenings for children and evening ones for adults. Sometimes we children watched the same films as the adults, as long as there was nothing too explicit. But sometimes adult films were shown anyway. At the most forbidden moments, the beam of light from the projector suddenly stopped. The hall fell into tense darkness. We froze, afraid to miss even a single sound. We were terribly curious what was happening there on the dark screen. We only found out later from the stories and explanations of the older boys.